The number of attempts in CA exams is becoming a big social stigma. Like even, whenever I go for my family gatherings, it's been almost 6 years that I qualified. But even today, when someone is asking me, when did you qualify? Okay, I'll tell 2015 something. Did you qualify in first attempt? First attempt is the second question which every person I encounter in my life, like that's the second question which he asks. See, many of us, like those who are watching this, especially every CS student, first please stop asking which attempt it is. In fact, even if you qualify in first attempt or second attempt or third attempt, forget about it. Say no to number of attempts. There is a very big logic behind what I'm saying. People fail, whether it is CA course or IAS or any other. People fail. Like I have seen, even in IAS also nowadays, this culture is becoming popular. Once upon a time in IAS, this culture is not there. So and so person from so and so city or village or so and so background cracked UPSC. That's how the news articles were. But now the news articles are also being emphasizing the attempt. So and so candidate cleared UPSC in very first attempt. What is very first attempt? What is first attempt? These people are becoming attempt conscious, and in fact we are the one who are the source for the attempt consciousness. Like many CS students, whenever they qualify, I observe, right, the social media platforms, I came across definitely their Instagram or somewhere, I would have been a friend to them. Cleared CA IPCC in the first attempt, cleared CA Inter in the very first attempt, feeling thankful to all each and every parent friend. So all that nonsense. See, if you qualify, say that you qualified. Let us ignore attempt. Let us ignore the number of attempt. You may put it's a first attempt, but it is discouraging many people why they qualified, why they have not qualified in the first attempt. Though you're sharing happiness, though you're spreading happiness that you achieved, but it is indirectly a discouraging factor for many because they feel or their thoughts are shattered that they have not qualified in the very first attempt. If you ask me personally, sir, when did you qualify? I know immediately you're getting this thought in your mind because it is so inculcated in our system that number of attempts that a guy takes, that a candidate takes, is one of the deciding factors to comment about his future. But today I'm telling you, there is an All India ranker, there are All India rankers who are earning less than me, and there is a 10th attempt candidate who is earning quite higher than me. I'm telling you, number of attempts do not matter for success. And by the way, I know your thought, you didn't still eliminate your thought of, sir, in which attempt you qualified. In 2014, my articleship is about to end in September. So I'm eligible for 2014 May month, my first eligible exam for CA final. And they actually gave me 3.5 months leave. Basically, I'm not a kind of so dedicated guy. It took it took almost more than 1 month for me to settle down. Like we never had a habit of studying, no. I didn't even attend final classes. Actually, I paid for 3 subjects, attended for five days in Chennai. I used to stay at one location. One subject I paid for morning class and another subject I paid for evening class. No, for 2 subjects I paid for evening classes. In order to go to the class in the morning, I need to wake up at least 4:35. So initial 5 days, because of the fees paid, because of that excitement, I attended. But from 6th or 7th day onwards, I started postponing. Okay, it's okay. What chapter today it is starting? Amalgamation. Okay, I know amalgamation already, basics I know in IPCC. I can manage it on my own. Like that, I postponed all my final classes. I couldn't attempt any of the final class. This is indirectly in this video. I'm talking about my journey of becoming a chartered accountant. Um, so what I felt is, okay, we'll try preparing on self. So I decided completely not to go for coaching classes because in between I have an outstation audit also. One more reason why I couldn't continue my coaching is because of one outstation audit. So where I went for approximately 10-15 days during that coaching period, and naturally I lost the continuity to the subject. So I couldn't cope up with the classes. I went, even after coming back from outstation audit, I went for another 3-4 days, and I decided and I understood very clearly I lost the pace with the class. So then I decided, okay, let me do in the leave. Okay, let me do in the leave time. I'll attend some crash course and then I'll think of it. Somehow, I got the leave, 3.5 months leave I got. It took approximately 1 month for me to buy the books because I have not attended coaching, right? And moreover, the coaching classes books are useful only when you have taken coaching. So the books which I got while attending coaching classes, they're mostly not useful because they're useful only for those who are attending the class. For others, it is not useful because it can't be self-explanation format. It can't be in a self-learning format. So buying the best author, searching for the best author, taking opinions, by getting the books, searching study halls, and of course, since until we get the leave, we are in articleship mode, completely a chill kind of mood. Okay, so suddenly getting into a seriousness of preparation, it took me approximately 1 month to settle down. So I hardly have 2.5 months left. Then I discovered, why should we prepare 100% syllabus? Why can't we stick to 60% syllabus first? In each subject, let me cover 60% syllabus, I decided. So group 1, 4 subjects every week. If every week I allocate for one subject. So likewise, I allocated 8 weeks for 8 subjects. Actually, we have in CA final ISCA paper. For that, I could dedicate only 5 days. Even for CA final audit also, I could dedicate only 6 days. You are thinking about, sir, what about revision? No, I didn't do revision. That time itself, I discovered this technique called cumulative revision. So what I decided is, every day I'll take one subject. Not every day, I'll take one subject. Finish it off throughout 1 week or 10 days, whatever time. But I want to finish it off maximum at fast as possible. By the way, I'm not going to prepare 100% syllabus. I'm going to target only 65 to 70% syllabus. And I'm honest, today, now the papers are very good standard. Then in 2014-15, though the papers were good standard, but not as tough as today. Of course, those days the coaching quality is moderate. Those days the material availability is very moderate. Those days the guidance is very moderate. Papers are also moderate. So in those days, that kind of paper is actually a high standard paper. But when I relatively compare today paper standards and those days the paper standards, there is a drastic improvement. But now the coaching has been advanced. Material availability become very popular. Today materials are free, absolutely speaking. Running notes, color notes, so many, plenty of resources. In 2014-15, we don't have the luxury of YouTube. Why? Because data itself is very costly. 1 GB data, 255 rupees around, something I pay. But today for 255, you're getting in a month 50 GB data. So that time YouTube is also not popular and there were no faculties on YouTube. And first of all, faculties don't know how to use YouTube. So mostly we have to prepare on our own. Paper standards are moderate. So what I did is I selected in every subject few chapters that will occupy approximately 65-70 marks and I targeted only them. What is the result? Group 1 I qualified, group 2 I failed with just 15 marks aggregate difference. Believe me, those 2.5 months I really put my effort. When someone asked me, when did you qualify? I always say that, yes, I qualified in first attempt. Because in what happened, why I failed in second group? My strategy went wrong. That time what happened is, in 2014 only that there was a new, a revision of the syllabus. Indirect taxes is part of second group. So in that my strategy went wrong. Indirect tax only I failed. What happened is, there is a concept called excise duty. Inside that there is a chapter called CENVAT credit, valuation, all that. Generally in CA final, they have a weightage of approximately 25 marks, generally. But from 2014 onwards, those chapters were kept in IPCC itself. And they were stopped asking, the weightage on them was hardly 3 to 5 marks from then onwards. The valuation, CENVAT credit, they were all kept under CA Inter itself. In CA Inter, the weightage is increased for them. And I don't know that fact. I was in assumption that 25 to 30 marks. If at all my strategy went right, I would have qualified second group also in CA final, both together first attempt. But somehow my strategy went wrong there because I don't know this fact. Even if at all I know this, I don't know how I would have planned. But this is what I realized later. Why this NVET valuation was not asked? When I asked one of my senior, he told me, no, this is what. And but one fact I should tell you. Few of my seniors, when I'm not attending coaching or when I have not started preparation during articleship, they're continuously, in fact, pulling my legs saying, Arey man, we are taking coaching, all that failed 2-3 times. What are you doing? So likewise, they started pulling my legs. I only decided one thing in my mind. The process or the result or the failure, whatever applicable for you, do not apply to me. If you take 6 months of time to qualify, that doesn't mean I will take 6 months of time to qualify. If you take 2 months of time to qualify, that doesn't mean I also take 2 months only. I also need only 2 months. No. Each and every one of you identify your individual strengths and weaknesses. You may be fast in one subject, but slow in another subject. You may grasp some subjects very faster. Okay, but some subjects you may not. You know, I'm very weak in SFM. My friend is very strong, super strong in SFM. I learned from him the SFM. We did combined study. Even my friend is there who also didn't take coaching, and we both coaching we paid, but not we didn't took only 3 subjects we paid. That also hardly 5 to 10 days only we have attended. So literally speaking, no coaching. 2.5 months. One group qualified, one group failed. That next attempt, 15 days leave I took. I was in job and I took only 15 to 20 days leave or 25 days and I cracked. So hardly, effectively speaking, 2.5-3 months time I spent for preparation of both the groups of CA final and I qualified. See, it's been more than 6 years I qualified. There is no point for me to tell you a lie. So this is what I really took. But that doesn't mean you also need only 3 months. One small advantage or a plus point for me is I process information a bit faster. By God's grace, it was gifted to me. Especially academics. Even later in my CA, after CA final, I did DISA also. I didn't prepare DISA at all. But based on my audit subject knowledge, I qualified DISA. Okay, DISA pass percentage is 4 to 5. After qualifying, you have to write post-qualification course. And later, I got this question, have you qualified in first attempt? I used to say, yes, I qualified in first attempt. You failed, no sir, then why are you saying first attempt? Because when my strategy went wrong, or when my preparation duration is not sufficient, when I did not try for it properly, how can I call it as attempt? How can I count it? You can count an attempt only when you put effort that it requires. If you do not put an effort to it, if you do not put efforts to it, at whatever the level it requires, you should never count that attempt. And moreover, the number of attempts can never be a factor for your success. Maybe you enter into the industry faster, but the growth depends upon the industry, your performance in the industry. It may be teaching industry, it may be practice, or it may be company, anything, wherever you go. Qualification gives you only the entry, but it is ultimately your performance, your emotional quotient, your emotional skills, your teamwork. Only they make factors for your success, but not your number of attempts. From now onwards, I want every one of you, if at all someone comes and try to pull your leg asking number of attempts, just tell them you failed because not in the result, but you failed in the process. Most of the people who failed, whose result is failed, they generally fail in the process, not in the result. Your process itself is a failure. Obviously, result is failure, man. You didn't put that effort. You didn't travel at all. You didn't experience the journey at all. And how can you call it as an attempt without experiencing the process? Let's put a full stop. Each and every one of you, I think many of you, whoever is watching this video right now, maybe awaiting for results for December attempt. If at all, I hope so. I pray that upon you qualifying, when you're putting a post on social media, qualified CA inter, you just mentioned that qualified CA inter in first attempt, qualified CA final in first attempt. No, don't put first attempt. It is never a factor for your success, I'm telling you. It in fact clearly indicates how narrow-minded we are. If at all we say first attempt, highlighting first attempt. Okay, even I qualified first group in first attempt, right? I never put that post. I just mentioned that I qualified group 1 CA final. I never emphasized on the word first attempt at all. Right from my CA foundation, I don't know, from one of my faculty, I got this attitude. So he always tells number of attempts doesn't matter, and somehow I was convinced with that fact and I was connected with that fact so strongly, and that became my personality. Even today, if any student comes to me, sir, I failed 4 times CA final, sir, because of audit subject, I want to take coaching from you. Okay, so I only tell him this. Probably you would have never studied audit in a right way. That's the reason you failed. Don't take the process failure as your failure. You failed in the process. Okay, you restart the process. I'm telling you this time you'll qualify, and forget about number of attempts. That doesn't matter. Personally, I never decide any person based on his number of attempts for reaching a destination. And I hope every one of you think to it, think about this and stop tagging about number of attempts. Stop asking about number of attempts. Stop bothering about number of attempts. It only gives you entry, but your growth, your performance, your personality, your success, everything depends upon your performance after getting the qualification. That's it. All the best. And whoever is waiting for results, let's pray that you qualify. Thank you.